So Davante Adams is unhappy with his role with the Raiders. Apparently his head coach is liking posts online where it says that he's going to be traded. Davante Adams says they haven't talked since. And now you see teams apparently lining up to potentially trade for the star wide receiver. Craig Carton on his morning show called Breakfast Ball on FS1 said that the Jets have already made an offer. Should the Commanders make a play for Davante Adams?
Nope, not interested. Sorry. He's a great player. Unbelievable, like the last, 5 of the last 6 years? Maybe. I mean,
why wouldn't you
career's
want
remarkable.
JD throwing to Davante instead of Noah Brown?
He's already 32.
That's all right.
All right. I think he's owed on his contract $35 million the next 2 years.
That's fine. It's not your money.
It's not that it's not my money. It's just that it's going to bust up everything.
They got plenty of money to spend.
His cap hit is 44-1 over the next 2 years.
They got plenty of money to spend.
$44 million.
We actually don't need him.
He can help you.
He could help.
He would make your offense better.
Potentially, sure. He's a great player. He's a great player.
That's what I mean.
But why mess up the mojo? Why mess up the mojo? We're averaging 30 points a game. That's not the problem. If he could stop the run, I'd sign him.
But it doesn't mean they're going to average 30 points a game the rest of the week. The rest of the year, they might score, 70.
I'm going to take over.
Have issues down the road scoring points. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't want. He's too old.
An aging wideout, you're going to
part with
draft capital. Like I wouldn't want to part with the second or third round pick. You
wouldn't want to give up a third round pick.
I mean,
you're not giving that much up with a third round pick.
I just have a hard time parting with the capital and paying him that amount of money.
All right, the money is one thing, but if it's just a third round pick,
I would rather have had Ayuk, probably.
All right,
because Ayuk's younger, right?
Yeah. Well, you probably would have had to give up more.
Yeah, I would have rather had Ayuk than this guy.
I think the Chiefs should be interested.
Definitely. The Chiefs should be interested. I don't know whether the Raiders are going to their division, but if it's deal, they might.
I guess the Jets are interested. I guess that's the report that the Jets have put up an offer for Davante.
Are you buying what Boomer was saying on his show? Boomer was saying that there's definitely an issue with Salah and Aaron
Rodgers.
Yeah,
we talked about it yesterday. Okay. Cakes believes they hate each other.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, Boomer says he just walks right by him. Right. He says, "I know it when I see it." He said, "I played for 2 coaches where I couldn't stand the
Rodgers guys. Claims that they're good, but I mean that could just be obviously him being a diplomat and trying to smooth things over and not have it blow up into something bigger.
If there is a real rift, would they try to appease him and bring in Davante?
They might. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has a lot of clout in that building.
Mm-hmm.
And if he stumps hard enough for it, I mean, I'm sure they're going to listen to him about it.
Eric, would you make a trade for a different position?
Yeah, like maybe
like a corner,
stop the run or something.
A corner, or maybe a
great pass rusher.
Yeah, an edge rusher.
Maybe, yeah. I'm just saying, right now we're scoring 30 points a game, and he's an older receiver.
It's a luxury.
Yeah, it's a luxury item. That's
okay.
I would agree with that.
I didn't know like if you just.
I don't think we're like some sort of perfect team. I just think he's an aging receiver. He's owed a ton of money.
Right, plus Adam Peters is looking. He looks at the landscape and says, "Well, I can draft a receiver in the first or second round of the upcoming draft, and that's not going to help me now. And I'll have that guy on a controlled salary, much lower than $30+ million, for the next 4 or 5 years."
Yeah.
Now you're going to draft Davante Adams? Most likely not.
That's fine. I'm just taking the other side of it.
Yeah.
And he makes your offense better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the money owed to him is a lot of money. Maybe you could get the Raiders to cover some of it. And I wouldn't trade a first-round pick for him.
No, absolutely not.
Second rounder, I would probably have to ponder that. I'm sure the best offer the Raiders going to get is going to involve a second rounder.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was just a third rounder, I got no problem.
According to Schefter, the Raiders' asking price for Adams is a package that would include a second-round pick and additional compensation.
Right.
Right now, your top 6 teams in salary cap space for this season are the Niners, Browns, Patriots, Lions, Raiders, Commanders.
They're 6th. Mm-hmm.
Commanders coming at 6th, $25.4 million in cap space.
What about if they take the bulk of the salary. Let's say if you offer a second and they're willing to take the bulk of the salary.
Well, why would they do that? Just to get the pick?
Just
Sure,
to get the
man.
pick. Because they've
Okay, we could talk about that.
There you go.
If you're not going to hamstring us salary cap wise, do they actually even do that in the NFL? I know they do that in baseball and
Yeah,
in basketball.
sure.
Do they do that in the NFL a lot? Where teams will.
think-
I'm sure they can.
I think so.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's how.
No, then I would consider it. Sure.
I'm pretty sure that's how the Ravens acquired Roquan. Is that they?
The Bears took.
Yeah.
So listen, if they want to pay 20 of the 40 million, sure, then we could talk.
So he sat out this last game, right, with a hamstring issue.
Yep.
Is it like a fake hamstring issue?
That's
Is that
what I'm wondering.
that's
I'm
the
wondering if he's like the
insinuation?
tight hamstring.
Yeah.
And you know what? That hamstring's going to be tight, too, when he looks across the field at Patrick Surtain, their opponent, Denver, in week 5. And he's going to be like, you know what? I don't want to go out and get donutted by that guy.
It's like
Yeah.
like the
You
video.
love Patrick Surtain.
well,
I know he's excellent.
he's probably the top 2 or 3 corner in the league.
He
He's a
is.
stud.
He is
It's the
very good.
reason Denver gave him like $25 million a year in an extension.
I'm guessing that
Davante Adams is a stud. Here's what I would say: if you can get him on the cheap, I'm not worried about the chemistry. And if let's say they win again this week, which we expect them to win, right? Now you're 4-1, right? Go for it. Go for it. Not just playoffs, like strengthen your team. Like you have a team that can contend, make a run. You can add a weapon like that.
Then you could really brag about the weapons, EB. Oh,
I mean, I don't know why.
That's the one
Weapons,
that-
our current weapons are averaging
I know,
30
but
a game.
but
30.
then
We
you'd
just put
have
a 40 burger up on them last
But
week.
if you now to play the
Okay,
other side,
but they
if
weren't
you
the
had
first 2
McLaurin
weeks.
And Davante Adams, you could legitimately brag about the weapons. Just look at all these weapons: Davante Adams,
Yeah,
Terry McLaurin.
You have to admit that your timetable has changed. Remember about development
Right,
and
right. I mean,
we're not going to be
really.
competitive until maybe year 3.
Not,
I mean,
really.
what if
'cause
you
I
think
actually
that-
don't have grand thoughts, but I just like it's
So if you
amazing
think-
to watch right now.
If you think they can win the division this year,
I don't.
because based on how everything's kind of playing out,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't want to add Davante Adams to an offense in the playoffs? All right.
If
I
they
mean,
would
there are
absorb
60
the salary,
There are 64% chance of making
Hey,
the playoffs.
You know what?
Yeah.
Going back a few months, probably, I kind of scoffed at Quinn and Peters when they used the term, "Hey, we're not rebuilding, we're recalibrating."
uh-huh.
They might have been onto something.
Well,
because
the Jaden, it's all because of Jaden.
of course, because
the
that
Jaden
it's hidden.
Daniels
That pick is hidden.
growth it has blown people. Like his
Yeah.
just after even week 1 was fine, but it was just kind of modest. But it's just grown exponentially since. I mean, I don't think anybody could have seen it.
No.
Could you have seen a performance like that on Monday Night Football, and then backs it up with a 40 burger?
Pretty damn good.